Hello, this is Everett. It is January the 27th, 2017. January 27th. It's 4:25 p.m. Arizona time. Now, with our tree of knowledge. Now, how in the hell would I come up with an idea in terms of structure of our government using the tree of knowledge? And you're probably saying, no, not the tree! For the love of God! Not the tree! Okay, well, we're going to use the tree. So you'll have to get used to it and get used to this. Okay, so we'll just say the trunk. The trunk is our government. And as we know with all trees, we have branches. And you have main branches. Okay, so you can say main branch, of our government would have to be the military. And then, as we know, with smaller branches, and that's why within our government, every division either is in reference to division or branch of our government. Now, why would we use the word branch in our government? Maybe because Everett has the tree of knowledge, saying, oh no, it's got Everett's signature all over it, we can't deny it now. Okay, so, but as you can see when we step back of this tree of knowledge and what makes up this tree of the many branches. Now, this can be a big tree or it can be a small tree. Now, of course, with the Republicans have a history of big government, and of course, Democrats is little government. So, and that's why we have symbolism of the elephants on the Republicans and donkeys on the Democrats. Because basically the Republicans represent the logic in tow with their emotions, and Democrats with their emotions in tow with their logic. But, say just in reference to air, no matter what party you are, if you happen to come to a conclusion to decide upon something, no matter what you come out first, as long as you conclude that your first element of hierarchy of this body better be air. So that's where the problem is. Your very own body, you're able to function, bring high functionality to your body, and yet you bring little functionality to our government. So that means intentions are in place, the will of man is in place. And so now when you factor in the last 500 years, out of the 4.5 billion years, people are still evolving, yet they handle the business as if they know it all. They got it under control. And I'm here to say that you're just scratching the surface. It was just, you were supposed to protect the integrity of our government, integrity of the American people, the integrity of the other nations, to be the big brother, big sister. So, as we know, when we sit back to this tree, in reference to this yard, okay, the yard is the world. We'll say that's in reference to the world. Now, if this tree gets too big, it'll consume this whole area. Not to mention the roots underneath of it, it'll attach to water pipes and combust the pipes. So, on an observation, power observation, oh, look at a little birdie up there. He just flew up there. He says, hello, people. Okay. So, now you have to use common sense and just logic is, now you have to start estimating roughly what your size needs to be. There he is. He's up on the branch. Hello. Now billions of people that can now see you. There's a lot of people that are unheard of, or unheard. And even the animals. So just like our little bird there that hangs up over here on this TV antenna, as you just illustrated with, or as you witnessed with your own eyes, it wanted to be heard too. It wanted to be part of this video. And it's like, you don't talk bird, but I sure do. And it makes me wonder, why don't you? Why aren't you able to communicate to animals? Why aren't you able to look up in the sky, if there was clouds, is able to read it as if it's some kind of language? It's because you guys set certain limitations upon yourself, and you cannot see beyond that. So if I put a 7-foot wall here, I cannot look beyond it. Just like, well, we got a little wall there. And for the fact that it's small, I'm able to know that there's 4 cars on the other side. But if that wall was up to here, I wouldn't be able to see them. I'd have to get closer, and my height would have to be higher than the wall to see what's on the other side. So when you get into setting limitations upon yourself, mixed in with, they call your manifestations. That's a very powerful word, very powerful energy actually. And as we know with the human body, your heart, there's voluntary, involuntary. Your heart is involuntary. Moving my hand is voluntary. So in terms of your manifestations, depending on what set limitations that you set in, will bring about self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, self-fulfilling prophecy, in terms of psychology and all those, pardon the expression, is people that have got the PhD behind or in front of their name, and they think they're brilliant now, and they've only scratched the surface. So it's not a means of derogatory or anything, but I just, from my level, comparing to what feels like to me, talking to a caveman, and it's like the caveman standing up and pretending that he's intelligent, and I just sit back and kind of laugh, But the same token, I gotta get along with you to build this evolutionary bridge. So something as simple as a tree. So, like with our government, you got North America, South America. And as what Donald Trump is, with our southern borders, is, even with the movie The Fence, Denzel Washington was the fence. And since he knew where he had 2 boys, well, with his first boy wasn't as successful. So Denzel Washington was the fence. Okay. And he basically wasn't as successful as the second boy. And he was going to make damn sure to be that fence of where he wanted his boys. And you say, wait a minute. He wanted to make damn sure that his boys weren't where he was. So if he occupied the space where he didn't want his boys, then there's only one other choice. And that's for his boys to go out and make something of themselves. So that, and essentially with our wall of our southern border with Mexico, is like, if you come into America and you want democracy, what have we taught you? What we have taught you, if you're here illegally, we're teaching you how to do things out of protocol, out of reasoning. Now, if we have a border up there and you don't get into America and you get tighter with your government and your dictatorship and whoever's running Mexico down there, then you guys will all eventually unite because of evolution. You guys are ready for democracy. Because if you're wanting to come to America, obviously you like democracy. So in that sense, America, United States, has to be that fence, like Denzel Washington did for his children. Is he's going to stand where he doesn't want you to be. You still have the choices, like in the movie where his son wanted to pick up as a musician. So it's like he wanted to make sure where he didn't want you to be, because he's already in it. So it's not like it's saying that we're saying to Mexico, we don't want you here. It's like, if you want democracies that bad, why are you not practicing unity in your own country and change up, evolve in terms of evolution in your own country? And then the United States and all the big nations would be more than happy to help you, to help develop you. Bring things, because we've already got it established. The United States has many things, branches and everything else. And we have intelligent people, and we've gone through the good and the bad and ugly. So we can, and that's to the benefit of the Mexican people. We love the Mexicans. So if you like democracy that bad, let's, and if you're not happy with your government, then it's time for Mexico to evolve. And then bring democracy in Mexico. Because that's why you're coming to America anyways. And if you're not coming here because of what our values and stuff, it's because you're bringing drugs and all the bad things that will hurt or kill Americans. So that's why the significance to the wall is more than just a wall. Just like in the movie Fence with Denzel Washington. And she got the award on that from what I was understanding. But everyone deserved that award. I mean, that movie was just exceptional. There's not a damn thing I would have changed about that movie. And an excellent job. I mean, once again with Denzel Washington. So when we look at things, I started with the wall of knowledge, with Trump. And some of the things I just mentioned, I've already reiterated. But, when you keep hitting things and apply this universal, meaning what else can this be? Can this be a nation? Can this be a government? Could this be a religion? The tree of knowledge of religion. It's like, since ISIS wants to kill everybody because because people don't, are adopting their concept of evolution, their radicalized, deviation of Islam. Essentially what they're doing is they just want to cut down the tree. Well, what would happen if you cut down all the trees on this planet? Well, trees give back oxygen. And that just so happens to be what you breathe. So it doesn't make any sense that you would cut down all the trees. Just like it wouldn't make any sense for Adam to kill Eve. Especially when they're the only two people here. So, in terms of religion, they hold up the Quran or the Holy Bible, the King James Version. And they said, this is the Word of God. And you said it correct. The Word, singular. Oh, my friend's back again. That's a confirmation. It's a Word of God. It means everything in that book represents one word, one communication of God, highest level of evolution. And as I'm illustrating here, the rest of the book is all around you. But because some people back in the days, they needed to see something in their hands to give some kind of authenticate, because people struggle with certain concepts. They had to see it, they had to feel it, they had to read it. And that worked well for some people. While you had other people like Isaac Newton, who's my apprentice, Martin Luther King is my apprentice, Nikola Tesla is my apprentice. So I have had many apprentices, but I have a very few people under apprenticeship of presidential apprentice, Speaker of the House apprentice. So since I've accomplished leader of all leaders, and I know structure of things, and even where they keep throwing out fascism, people don't have no clue as to what fascism is. I could take you to another earth out there that has hardcore fascism, It only take me maybe 1 minute. You'll say, hell, take me back home. Take me back to Earth. And you'll never bitch and complain about fascism ever again. So, in fact, fascism is represented in your body. Voluntary, involuntary. Means the government, to a certain degree, has to make sure the safety of American people. Because companies out there, what is already illustrated is like you give a man an inch, they'll take it to a mile. I mean, they're going to screw over Americans and just take, and then, like we're experiencing moving out of our country, means once they've already, essentially it's like, what happens when you keep withdrawing your checking account? You go bankrupt. So we can't afford people to come to America just for what they can take out of it. What's here is for Americans. And so we can stay strong and vigilant. So we, because we have to be the big brother. And other nations going to lean on us. And we are going to, that's our job, is to help them out. Help them evolve. So it's not about, our prime objective is to destroy other nations. No, if you're in a position where you have to force destroy a nation or a smaller group that's radicalized, it should horrify you. It really should horrify any president. It's like, I'm forced. It's like, I'm angry. I'm angry because now I have to destroy you in order to save my future generations. Because you have fallen into the extinction category. You're thinking and radicalized. And you want to kill everyone, just like chopping down this tree. It's like, eventually, when you get down to your own group of people, eventually by your standards, you'll have to chop yourself down. And then extinction takes place. And then you're a bag of bones next to T-Rex and the raptor. But people don't think that far ahead, unfortunately. And you have the capacity. You're considered awesome, supreme. You got the human body. The human race it's a superior design of life form in terms of warfare. And yet you guys want to settle for less. As smart as I am, I guess I'll never figure out that as to why anyone would want to settle for less. So if you got a problem with Everett talking to a tree, you'll just have to get used to it. It's like, Everett, it's like, I talk to you, so am I crazy when I talk to you? And say, no. Then why would I be crazy if I talk to a tree? Okay, so anyways, thank you for your time, and Godspeed.